Good evening, students. Today we are going to deal with the respiratory system of pathophysiology, pathology and genetics for BSc Nursing second year student. The first disease is pneumonia of the respiratory system. Here what happens? The pneumonia is defined as the acute inflammation of lung parenchyma, which is distal to the terminal bronchioles. Means the lung parenchyma is situated little distal to the bronchioles and then comprising the respiratory bronchioles, alveolar duct, alveolar sacs and alveoli, resulting in consolidation of lung parenchyma. Here the consolidation of lung parenchyma occurs. So let's see what are the etiopathogenesis causes causing the pneumonia. The etiopathogenesis of pneumonia are defense mechanism when they are impaired or resistance is lower, then pneumonia is resulting. So conditions which leads to lower resistance and altered clearing mechanism of the body due to flowing conditions. First one is the conditions leading to lower resistance is chronic disease and virulent infection. Then the second one is immunological agents. Then the third one is the impaired alveolar macrophage function like cigarette smoke, starvation, hypoxia, anemia, viral respiratory infection, and then the altered clearing mechanism of body due to flowing condition can be the state of unconsciousness, depressed cough or glottis, reflex or endobrachial obstruction in case of foreign body tumors, cystic fibrosis, chronic bronchitis. So up to here we have seen the pneumonia is having the etiopathogenesis under two sections: condition leading to the lowered resistance and altered clearing mechanism of the body due to following condition. In this, first was the chronic disease and virulent infection under the conditions leading to lowered resistance. So means there will be chronic disease or virulent infection, then it will cause the conditions leading to lowered resistance and immunological deficiencies. Then treatment with immunosuppressive drugs, then leukocytes and dysfunctions in congenital and acquired immunodeficiencies. Example AIDS. Here means leukocytes will not work properly. They will be immunodeficient and immunosuppressed, so they will produce the diseases like immunodeficiency disease like AIDS. Then impaired alveolar macrophage function means the macrophage functions of alveoli will not work properly. It will also cause pneumonia. Then the second one was the altered clearing mechanism of the body due to the following conditions. So here the state of consciousness, depressed cough or glottis reflex, chronic disease and virulent infections causes the state of unconsciousness. Then immunological deficiency causes depressed cough and glottis reflex. Then treatment of immunosuppressive drugs will cause impaired mucociliary clearance or cigarette smoking, viral infections or immotile cilia syndrome. And the next one is leukocyte dysfunctions will cause endobrachial obstructions in case of foreign body. Let us revise again. Chronic bronchitis disease or virulent infection will lead to a state of unconsciousness. Then immunological deficiency will lead to depressed cough or glottis reflexes. Then treatment of immunosuppressive drugs will lead to impaired mucociliary clearance and cigarette smoking, viral infection, immotile cilia syndrome, and leukocyte dysfunction in congenital acquired immunodeficiency AIDS will lead to endobrachial obstructions in case of foreign body tumor, cystic fibrosis and chronic bronchitis. Then impaired alveolar macrophage function will not produce any condition. You can see the microscopic appearance of a disease named as pleural effusion in the respiratory system. That we are not going to discuss here. So the next is classification. The classification of pneumonia is according to the two conditions, on the anatomical basis and on the etiological classification. On the anatomical basis, location, these are classified as lobar pneumonia, bronchopneumonia, interstitial pneumonia. And according to etiological classification, they are bacterial pneumonia, causes like bacteria will be the cause, so it will produce lobar pneumonia and bronchopneumonia. These are same as the anatomical location. Viral and mycoplasma pneumonia is a primary atypical pneumonia. Another types like Legionella pneumonia, aspiration pneumonia, pneumococcal pneumonia, lipid pneumonia. Now let's see in detail about each and every pneumonia and their pathological conditions, clinical manifestations. Lobular pneumonia. It is caused by the bacterial infection which can involve the entire lobe or two lobes, sometimes bilaterally. Here two lobes are involved and caused by bacterial infection. The lower lobes are usually affected. The etiological factor of lobar pneumonia can be Streptococci pneumonia. It is the main cause, pneumococci, responsible for 90% of infection in lobar pneumonia. And others can be the Staphylococci, gram-negative aerobic bacteria like Haemophilus influenza, Klebsiella pneumonia, Pseudomonas proteus and others. Pathological changes. The pathological changes are divided into 4 sequential phases. Stage of congestion, initial phase, lasts for 1 to 2 days. Then the second is the stage of hepatization. First one is the lobular pneumonia pathological changes. Under having stage of congestion, initial phase lasts for 1 to 2 days. Then stage of hepatization, early consolidation lasts for 2 to 4 days. Then grey hepatization, late consolidation lasts for 4 to 8 days. And the last one is resolution. Its stage begin 8 to 14 days. Let's see in detail what are the pathological changes occur. The pathological changes which occur in the 4 phases of lobar pneumonia are: in a stage of congestion, grossly the affected lobe in the lung is enlarged, heavy, dark, red and congested, and microscopically dilated and congested alveolar capillaries and alveolar spaces are there. Presence of pale fluid will be there in air space along with the RBC, neutrophils and demonstrable bacteria in the alveolar fluid. Then stage of hepatization, early consolidation lasts for the 2 to 4 days. Here grossly the affected lobe is red, firm and consolidated. On cut section of the affected lobe, like liver-like consistency, which is red, pink, dry, granular with pleural thickening. Microscopically, the stage of hepatization is having edema, fluid is replaced by fibrin strands with cellular exudates of neutrophils and extravasation of RBCs. Less prominent alveolar septum. The septum of alveolar form is very less. Then grey hepatization, which is also called as late consolidation. It lasts for 4 to 8 days. Here grossly the affected lobe, usually the last lobe, lower lobe, is heavy, firm, grey in appearance with liver-like consistency. Change in color from red to grey to the affected lobe, and fibrinous pluricity is present. Microscopically, the neutrophils are replaced by macrophages with increased deposition of fibrin strands. The cellular exudate is often separated from the septal wall by thin clear space. Cellular exudates are reduced. Resolution it begins after 8 to 14 days. This is the fourth and the last stage. Here complete resolution occurs in 1 to 3 weeks after initial infection. Grossly the changes are: previous solid fibrinous constituents are liquefied by enzymatic action, eventually restoring normal aeration of the affected lobe. Cut surface appears grey, red or dirty brown and frothy. Yellow and creamy fluid can be seen on the pressing. So the complete resolution occurs in 1 to 3 weeks. This is the last stage of initial infection. So it will leave the previous solid fibrinous constituents which are liquefied by enzymatic action and eventually restoring the normal aeration of the affected flow. The cut surface appears grey, red or dirty brown, frothy and yellow and creamy fluid. These are the grossly we can observe in the pneumonia of the lobular in resolution stage. Then microscopically what happens? Microscopically, the macrophages are predominant in alveolar spaces. Alveolar capillaries are engorged. Progressive removal of fluid content and cellular exudates from air space via expectoration and by lymphatics which restore normal lung parenchyma. Means here the macrophages which are dominant in alveolar space are predominant, means they start showing their functions early, and alveolar capillaries are engorged, means they are obstructed, and progressive removal of fluid content, the fluid content is progressively removed, and cellular exudates from air spaces and the expectoration will occur, and by lymphatics which restore the normal lung parenchyma. B is the bronchopneumonia or lobular pneumonia. First one was the lobar pneumonia, then second one is the bronchopneumonia or lobular pneumonia. Lobular pneumonia. It is inflammatory response due to colonization of microorganisms in the terminal bronchioles and extension of it into the surrounding alveoli, resulting in patchy consolidation. Means here what happens, there is a inflammatory response occur due to the colonization of microorganisms in the terminal bronchioles. Colonization means microorganisms will be in a large number and they will affect the terminal bronchioles, and there will be extension of it into the surrounding alveoli, resulting in patchy consolidation. There will be consolidation will also occur here also, and it is mainly seen in infancy, at lower age, old age, chronically ill and debilitated patients. Etiological organisms: Staphylococci, Streptococci, Pneumococci, Klebsiella, Pneumoniae, Haemophilus, influenza and other gram-bacteria, negative bacteria like Pseudomonas. The pathological changes which occur: grossly the patchy areas of red or grey consolidation affected one or more lobes, mainly the lower lobe. Here the red or grey consolidation will occur of one or more lobe, mainly the lower lobe is affected. Mostly the same things will occur. Cut section show dry, granular, firm red consolidated areas of 3 to 4 cm in diameter. Then microscopically acute inflammation. Here in previous the inflammation was not there, but in here the microscopically the acute inflammation of bronchioles can be seen, which is also called as acute bronchiolitis. Then suppurative exudates in the peribronchial alveoli. In the peribronchial region of alveoli, the suppurative exudates means stuff can also form. Then alveolar septa thickening can be seen due to congested capillaries and leukocytic infiltration. Means alveolar septa will be thick here. In previous it was not thick, but here it will start becoming thick and it will cause the congested capillaries and leukocytic infiltration. Then clinical manifestation: initially for the 2 to 3 days signs and symptoms of acute bronchitis appear. Then acute bronchitis is due to acute inflammation of bronchioles. Then opacification can be seen in both lungs, mainly in the lower zone. Then blood examination will show the neutrophilic leukocytosis. Third one is the interstitial pneumonia. Interstitial pneumonia, the interstitial pneumonia or primary atypical pneumonia. Up to this we have seen the lobar pneumonia, then bronchopneumonia or lobular pneumonia, then interstitial pneumonia or primary atypical pneumonia. It is an inflammatory process. Here also it occurs due to inflammation only. which is confined to interstitial tissue. It is occurred between the interstitial tissue of the alveoli with absence of alveolar exudate. There is no exudate present. It can involve one or both lungs. The etiological organisms most common is respiratory syncytial virus. The most common is the respiratory syncytial virus, RSV. Then others are mycoplasma pneumonia, influenza, parainfluenza, adenovirus, rhinovirus, cytomegalovirus, which is shortly termed as CMV. What are the organisms which cause interstitial pneumonia? Mycoplasma pneumonia, influenza, parainfluenza, adenovirus, rhinovirus. At least 2 to 3 names you must remember. RSV, the respiratory syncytial virus, and parainfluenza, influenza, and adenovirus, rhinovirus. Then pathological changes. What happened here? Here the lungs appear very heavy with congestion. Here congestion occurred at a large rate, so lungs appear heavy. Frothy or bloody fluid can be sectioned in the lungs. Means here the blood depositions of fluid can be seen here. Thickening of alveolar wall can be seen with an inflammatory infiltrate and edema. Necrotizing inflammation of bronchioles can also be seen here. Like you can see in the diagram, pathologically the gross and the microscopic view of the bronchopneumonia, in which I told you that here the by which we told here it will occur grossly the patchy areas of red or grey consolidation will affect the one or more, mainly the lower lobe. And the next one is bronchopneumonia. Microscopy, the acute inflammation can be seen in this diagram. Then we were discussing with the interstitial pneumonia pathological changes. So grossly the lungs will appear heavy with congestion and frothy or bloody fluids can be seen. Then microscopically here we can see the alveolar wall thickening with inflammatory infiltrate and edema. Necrotizing inflammation of bronchioles can also be seen. Mainly there the inflammation occurs, that you have to remember, and necrotization occurs, and the congestion will also occur. Then alveolar lumina may show edema. Alveolar lumina is the space inside the lumina, show edema, fluid, fibrine, inflammatory exudates in severe cases with pink colored hyaline membrane. Here pink colored hyaline membrane will be also seen, and inflammatory exudates will also be seen. Clinical manifestation of features include fever, headache, myalgia with dry and non-productive cough, chest X-ray with patchy or diffuse consolidation. Let's see the diagnostic evaluation or through which we can check the pneumonia is a chest X-ray, sputum examination, gram staining or culture, atrial blood gas or ABG analysis, and bronchoscopy and pulse oximetry. Through this we can see. The second disease is lung abscess, which we'll discuss later. First, let's see the sections which I taught you. That was the pneumonia. We'll see the pathophysiology of pneumonia. The pathophysiology of pneumonia include how the pneumonia causes disease. First, there will be abscess formation blocking airway areas, obstructed areas, and there will be accumulation of pus. So abscess formation blocking the airway areas and accumulation of pus will occur, through which the infection will occur, like bronchitis, which will lead to inflammation, and then there will be increased granulation tissue antibody complex. And if it is not finished here, then it may lead to further infection and inflammation, which will cause blockage of airway, then decreased function of lungs, which will make signs and symptoms such as orthopnea, dyspnea, then transmission to another area. So let's see again. The etiopathogenesis of pneumonia includes the abscess formation. Abscess formation in which there will be obstructed pathway, blocking airway will be there. Then it will cause the accumulation of pus. Then it will cause the bacterial infection, example bronchitis. Then it will lead to inflammation, and then after inflammation it will lead to the granulation tissue. And if here will be antigen reaction will occur, and if it is not treated well, then it may lead to further infection, like it will cause blockage of airway, then decreased function of lungs, and it will make signs and symptoms such as dyspnea, orthopnea, then transmission to another area. This will occur. Here you can see some images of pneumonia, like this one. This is the cut surface of lungs, which determine the typical appearance of bronchopneumonia, with areas of tan yellow consolidation. Remaining lung is dark red because of marked pulmonary consolidation. So here you can see some areas are yellow and some areas are dark red because of the tan yellow consolidation, and if it is dark red, that is because of pulmonary congestion. Bronchopneumonia is also characterized by the patchy areas of pulmonary consolidation. These also we have discussed in the earlier part. Here the areas consolidated are firmer and then the surrounding lungs. Then this is the another example of bronchopneumonia. The image you can see clearly. This is the image. Here it is the another example of bronchopneumonia, and the lighter areas that appear to be raised on cut surface from the surrounding lung are the areas of consolidated lungs. Means here the lighted areas, that light portion of the areas, this portion, light portion of the areas of the lungs appear to be raised on cut surface. It appears like cut surface from the surrounding lung are the areas of consolidated lungs. That are the areas of the consolidated lungs. Means here the consolidation occurs. Then if we will see the higher magnification, then you can see highly it is magnified. That was not highly magnified. If we will see the inner section, then we can see some scars are there, some patches are there. Here the pattern of patchy distribution of bronchopneumonia is seen. Some patches like this patch is red patch. These patches are there. Do not see the holes, only see the patches. These are the patches, different colors. So pattern of distribution of bronchopneumonia is seen. The consolidated areas are very closely matched to the pattern of lung lobules. Hence they are also called as lobular pneumonia. Why the bronchopneumonia is also called as lobular pneumonia? Because it will match with that lung lobules, colored. It is classify a hospital acquired pneumonia seen in person already ill from another disease. The bacterial pneumonia caused by Staphylococcus aureus, Klebsiella and E. coli. Here also you can see the bronchopneumonia is more subtle. The same thing we are seeing. The bronchopneumonia is more subtle. There are areas of lighter tan consolidation. This lighter tan is formed. The hilum where the attachment is there, from where the lungs are attached. The hilum is seen at the lower right with radiating pulmonary artery. These holes are there through which the arteries appear, and bronchi are there, and many bronchopneumonia follows an earlier viral pneumonia, particularly in older person. Means the pneumonia will occur through viral pneumonia also. Older person when influenza is more common, it can also occur. And here you are seeing the lobar pneumonia. Lobar pneumonia I already taught. So what we can see, it is light section affected part. So it's the lobar pneumonia in which the consolidation of entire left upper lobe has occurred. Means the left upper lobe of the lung is mostly affected. Two lobes are there. So the upper lobe is, usually it is the lower lobe is affected, and this is much less common than the bronchopneumonia. It doesn't occur more, and the pattern is much common seen than the bronchopneumonia pattern. In part, this is due to the fact that lobar pneumonia, or also due to streptococcus pneumococcus, and for decades there has been responded well to penicillin therapy. If penicillin therapy is given, then the lobular pneumonia can be treated well. Severe pneumococcal pneumonia still occurs even in young middle-aged person and has a mortality rate of 20%. That's nothing to be included. Here is also a closed section of lobar pneumonia. We can see the closed section of lobar pneumonia. Let's see a closer view of lobar pneumonia. Dark brown in color. It demonstrates the distinct difference between the upper lobe and the consolidated lower lobe. Radiographically, areas of consolidation appears as infiltrate. Here the closer view is there. So distinct difference between the upper lobe and consolidated lower lobe. Consolidation has occurred in the lower lobe and the upper lobe. So you can see the difference here in color, and radiographically the consolidated part, that is the lower lobe, appears as infiltrate. This I will discuss later. Up to here it is discussed. So thank you class. Now I will deal with the next sections of respiratory infection or disease in the next class. Thank you.